Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Green Nurse Podcast, where we bring you high vibes, hope, and inspiration for growth and healing. We want you all to start your day off in the most amazing way. And we're going to start off with a little video that we like to start off with every morning because it is truly inspirational as to why we're doing what we're doing. Welcome, everyone.
He changed the paradigm of healthcare.
The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I'm the founder of Holistic Caring. We're based here in California, and we do educational programs and case management for patients on how to use cannabis therapeutically as a medicine.
We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing.
As the founder of Holistic Caring, I basically oversee the whole ship, and what we're doing is progressive education.
Cannabis actually supports all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to either do something or not do something. Because the plant was prohibited, it prevented health professionals, doctors and nurses from learning about cannabis as medicine.
I want to change the paradigm of healthcare and us paving the way into a new vanguard of medicine. And I'm excited to really bring this into light. There's a company called Canam that we're merging with, and we will now be doing global education.
It's about education, it's about empowerment, it's about teaching people how to feel good, bridging the gap from what they're not getting from traditional medicine, utilizing different plant medicines, adaptogens, tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs of information to support and nourish the most important system in our body.
And it's a lot of soul work, a lot of love, a lot of discipline, and meditation. I'm using my life work as a testimony to others to learn how they can be their own hero and then go help heal the world.
And we are, as nurses, the game changers.
There we go, everyone.
Yes. Yay.
Rise and shine, wake and bake. Welcome to the show. So grateful to have you all here today. And this is going to be a week of gratitude. We're going to be talking about gratitude all week long and how we're so grateful, honestly.
Yes.
We've discovered the endocannabinoid system in a new way of utilizing plant medicines to show up in the world for healing so we can live our best lives. So Denise Costello is my girl, Energized Living Green Nurse, Denise Costello. And Denise, I just want you to introduce yourself to the new peeps while I pull up this awesome, handy dandy little slide of you so I can brag about you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What you got there, Sherri?
Oh my God. I got you, babe.
You got me.
Boom.
You got me. All right. Super duper.
Yes. So here we go.
Very good. So yes, I am a holistic cannabis nurse, and I have created Energized Living retreats and modality of a way that you can integrate all of these holistic practices. I like to look at it as lifestyle medicine in a sense, right? Because our lifestyles have a huge impact on our health, the way we eat, the way we sleep, how we manage stress. And we have our traditional way of, knowing what we need to do, but there's these other practices, meditation, mindfulness, plant medicine, how to integrate all of these things into your lifestyle very easily. These kind of tips as Sherri likes to say, tips, tricks, and nugs and tugs and all of that, how we integrate that very easily into your lifestyle. And I really lean on what I call my 3 pillars, right? Prayer is the very first one. And prayer because it connects you to spirit, to yourself, to your soul. You've got to be aware of what's going on. You've got to be aware of what is happening and what is there available to you, and to connect into that every day, starting your day that way. The second is protection. And when I talk about protection, I'm talking about protection of your mind. You know, what you need to do to nourish your mind, your body, and your soul, right? So what are the things you want to keep out? Like toxic thoughts, toxic messages, taking that trash out of your mind, what you feed yourself with positivity, nourishment, plant medicine, all of those good things. And then the last P is play, which means tapping into your joy, like do the things that bring you joy, because you are going to be the best version of yourself if you are in that mode. And play also means just being open to new things. Like just play with it. Don't have any big expectations. Just see where it leads you. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love that. Well, every morning we do start off with some protection, positivity. We start off with prayer. And we're going to play a little bit later. So right now I want to pull up, I did a little scrolling and I found this really cool graphic. But I'm not going to share the graphic, but I'm going to share the words. So it was about prayer and what does it mean? And this is another perception on prayer that I'm going to read. So here, this is how it goes. Do you pray? I love this interpretation of prayer. What is prayer? Prayer doesn't just happen when we kneel or put our hands together and focus and expect things from God or our higher self power. Thinking positive and wishing good for others is a prayer. When you hug a friend, that's a prayer. When you cook something to nourish your family and friends, that's a prayer. When we send off all of our near and dear ones and say, drive safely, be safe, that's a prayer. When you're helping someone in need by giving your time and energy, that's a prayer. When you forgive someone with your heart, that is a prayer. Prayer is a vibration, it's a frequency, it's a feeling, it's a thought, it's the voice of love, friendship, genuine relationships. Prayer is an expression of your silent, inner, spiritual self. Keep praying.
Yes,
I love that.
absolutely. I love that, because so many of us think of I can't say the word. Prayer as like being down on your knee, or you have to be connected to a church or whatever. But prayer really is an opening to God and love, right? It's an exposure, like you're basking in the sun and just allowing God to love us. And so developing a relationship, it's more than just that dialogue, because a dialogue is you speaking. It's being aware. And I like to start this part of my little mantra that I start with when I transition, when I start my day, or whenever I am trying to make myself more open to God, is I start with ever present God, spirit, universe, whatever you want to use, here with me now. Help me to be here with you. Right? So it's another spin on peace begins with me, right? It's that being present, aware, and just doing those things, like you said, smiling at somebody. It's an energy, right? Prayer is an energy that you are cultivating. You are tapping into the love of God, the universe around you, 24/7, every moment of the day. It's available to us. And so it's just getting into that practice and not overthinking it, and just being in the flow of that love energy.
I love that.
That's what it's about, right?
Such good stuff. And so how does this lead into cannabis? How does this lead into what we're doing this morning? Why are we even doing this? Well, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to relate it back to cannabis. I'm going to relate it to nursing. So basically, back in 2018, the National Council State Boards of Nursing put out a call to action. This is really, really powerful stuff. And this is really what ended up happening. This lit a fire under my butt. The National Council of State Boards of Nursing, they create the exam for all nurses. And that exam determines if a nurse is going to obtain licensure in a particular state. So in 2018, they put out a 64-page document, right, in the Journal of Nursing and Regulations on Cannabis. So they basically said that all nurses, nursing students, and advanced practice nurses must have 6 essential areas of clinical knowledge when it comes to cannabis as medicine. And so basically, we've been talking about a lot of these. I'm just going to review them very, very quickly, and we're going to focus on the very last one, because the last one I find is the most important, because it has to do with connecting to patients and spirit. So all nurses, nursing students, and advanced practice nurses. 1, the nurse shall have a working knowledge of the current state of legislation and legalization of medical and adult use cannabis. 2, the nurse shall have a working knowledge of the jurisdiction of the medical cannabis program in their states and what that means. 3, the nurse shall have an understanding of the endocannabinoid system, cannabinoid receptors, cannabinoids, and the interactions between them. 4, the nurse shall have an understanding of cannabis pharmacology and the research associated with the medical use of cannabis. 5, the nurse shall be able to identify the safety considerations for patient use of cannabis. And number 6, which is my favorite that I focus on all the time, specifically on Mondays, is the nurse shall approach the patient without judgment regarding a patient's choice of treatment or preferences in managing pain or other distressing symptoms. Number 1, there is no room for judgment at all when we're taking care of people. Number 2, the essence of nursing is human caring, and human caring means this: caring for the human experience wherever a person may be in their particular life, right here, right now, and not bypassing it, holding space for them to process what they're going through, to get to the next phase. We're here to hold your hand until you're ready to let go. So no judgment allowed. And so this is why we delve into and why we talk about spirituality is the root of cannabis care. So you think about in the conventional system where I used to work for over 25 years, we focused on body parts, symptoms, pharmaceuticals, disease processes, and all of the things that we can do to help that person. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a missing component. If we're lucky, we get to mental, emotional health, and usually not until someone's in a crisis. And rarely do we ever get to spiritual healing unless a person's dying on the way out. So what we're doing is we're trying to reverse that. We're tapping into spiritual principles. We're bringing that connection, that transpersonal connection where you're really connecting with someone's heart space, meeting them where they're at, and helping them to get to a new place where they can look at cannabis in a different way. Truly, what's a miracle? A change of perception, that aha moment when it just makes sense. And that has happened to all of us as cannabis nurses. We've come into this space where we are here right now, and this is why we're doing what we're doing. So Denise, to get back into the show, spirituality is root of cannabis cares, energized living, and how we're going to pair this up, for the next part of the show is gratitude is a way to upregulate our endocannabinoid system.
Absolutely.
Gratitude is part of the 3 Ps of energized living. And so Denise, I'm going to let you get into this next segment because I'm really, really excited that you've prepared this. And I think it's going to help so many different people that are out there.
Right. Absolutely. It's really one of the easiest ways to start developing that connection, to developing that prayer, that prayer life. And, I love, what you brought up about our role as nurses, as far as the root of spirituality, because if you don't have that going on, for your healing, it's going to be very, very difficult. And the thought of somebody being on their deathbed alone, and we've experienced that with COVID, with patients having to be alone. And just think about this, if they are without their family and they have no connection to spirit, they're really alone. So maybe our role, even as nurses, is just to be at that bedside, to hold that hand, to maybe it's the first time ever in your life that you are bringing awareness about prayer or introduction into spirituality for that patient in that moment. So it's really, really powerful. So when we get into that moment of, appreciation, and gratitude. At the beginning of this month, we talked about the appreciation game. It was something we talked about. And that is something really fun, super easy that anybody can do.
Let's play.
Sam Hicks is the one who came up with this game. And I heard it through Gabby Bernstein was talking about it. I was like, oh, this sounds really awesome. Super easy. You just think about, first of all, last week we started with the meta meditation, right? Where we talk about focusing on ourself and then, somebody that's neutral, somebody that we love, and then somebody that's difficult. Well, we can add the appreciation game into that as well. And think about yourself. What are the things that you appreciate about yourself? Right? You rattle that off. Then what is the things that you appreciate maybe about your love partner? And you can go down through the list, or you're having a difficult time. Maybe somebody, that clerk is being snappy at you, in line, and like, well, what is it that I appreciate about that person? Well, I appreciate that. Well,
I appreciate that I'm not in that space, number one. And I appreciate that I have the tools to step back and let them be in their space. Right? I don't have to engage with that. There you go.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Isn't that so cool? And I think this illustrates too about what prayer is about when we, it doesn't have to be this holy, holy thing, like get on your knees. It flows through your day. That's the whole point of it, is how we integrate it into our daily life, into our lifestyle. When we're standing, in the line at the grocery store and we are just feeling frustrated, you can bring it into appreciation, a simple thing.
There you go.
So give it a try.
Well, I'm going to give you an example. Let's tell a story, Denise. I love that line one, standing in line and the grumpy person, and how can you appreciate them while they're there?
Right.
How can you turn this around into appreciation? So here's another story personally that I'm going to go through today. I have to go to the dentist. Now, y'all, you do?
Yeah. Today. That's so funny.
Okay. So it's not that I'm anti-dental work, but I have an issue, that I've experienced some issues with the conventional system not working for me and having fear around going. Okay. So I've worked through a lot of this, but it still creeps up when I have to go to the doctors. I have to, step into a medical building, whatever. But here it is I don't have to live in that story because I have the tools. So how am I turning that fear around with gratitude? I am grateful that I understand what's going on in my life. I am grateful that I understand where that fear is coming from. And let me tell y'all, I am so grateful that I have cannabinoids to help me get into the space of sinking into my body so I can go through the motions of doing what I need to do to take care of this meat suit.
Yes. Right? Yes. That's such a beautiful illustration of how you bring spirit and, body in together, and how you can use both of those focuses to get you through your day. Right. Yeah. And that's really what this is all about. Yeah. All of our energized living tools, our plant medicine, everything that we're talking about is how we bridge our physical body with our spiritual body. Right. Our energetic body, which is so powerful. Right.
Yeah. Love that. And the thing too, is you think about too, the other thing that we're doing here as well is I'm going to pull up my favorite handy dandy little sign here. Hope and inspiration for growth and healing. Right. Those are spiritual principles.
Yes.
And we're bringing those spiritual principles into conventional medicine. So, because here's the thing, the first thing that cannabis has brought so many different people is what? That hope where they have none. Right. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, hope floats for sure. There is a saying, it's true. It lifts the sinking ship, right? Yes. Hope lifts the sinking ship. And then you start to get into that place of floating, something different, new ideas, perception changes, looking at things from a different perspective. And that's what cannabis did for me. And then once I had that hope and I was floating, well, guess what? I was inspired. Yeah. Inspiration. And when we're inspired, we're filled with spirit. Right? The spirit of plant medicine entered into my being and gave me those hugs and nugs and those tips and tricks and the ability to start to build resilience and use this plant and other tools that we talk about to grow, right? Growing and healing. And so when you're growing in health, it's a process, right? And we're constantly growing. Growing never stops. Let me tell you, when you stop growing, that's when you go.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
So growth,
Exactly.
inspiration, growth, and then healing, right?
Yeah.
So we talk about healing. Isn't, healing, people have their own perception on what that means. But for me, it means doing the best you can with what you have right here, right now. So you can show up in the world attempting and trying to be your favorite version of yourself or the best version of yourself. Because guess what, people? Y'all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to feel good.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to do something else next, or we're going to do something else here, Green Nurse Denise. What do we have on the agenda for this morning?
Well, how about we do a little meditation, right?
Oh, I'd love that.
Why not? I'll have to tell you, I co-owned a meditation studio, Chrysalis Meditation, here in Winchester, Massachusetts. And, I'm a devout Catholic. I prayer and all of that mass. It's been part of my life. And I felt I had my connection pretty well situated until meditation came into play. I can't even tell, because, if we are constantly just dialoguing out, we have to be able to listen and be aware. Meditation gets you into this deep, this presence, of your body and mind and spirit. And it's very, very nourishing. It changes the neuroplasticity of your brain. But even when I went to mass or in my prayer life, it just exploded it, because I was so much more aware of God's presence, or just even the energy around me, of the saints, the universe, and all that. So we're going to go into an appreciation meditation. And what I'd like you to do is just begin by just bringing your shoulders up to your ears, and then back and down. And we do that as we exhale, just to open our heart, right? And I'm going to hit my beautiful little bowl. I'm going to have you listen to this all the way through until the end of the ringing, and then we'll start the meditation. Okay? And as you close your eyes and place your hands on your heart, you're breathing in and breathing out. We're just breathing in and breathing out. You're going to bring energy and love right into the center of your heart. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Well, let each breath fill your heart with more energy, more love, more appreciation. Breathing in and breathing out. Now focus your attention onto something that you appreciate about your physical body. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Now focus your attention on what you appreciate about the people in your life. Maybe it's that person or group of friends, somebody special. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Let's focus on what you appreciate about where you live. It could be as simple as all the food you have in your kitchen, or the sheets on your bed that you sleep in, or the heat in your house. Breathe it in, breathe it out. And now focus your attention on the appreciation that you have for all that you've learned in life. Those tough lessons, even the hard times, even the exciting lessons. We breathe in joy and appreciation for all that you've learned. Breathe it in and breathe it out. And lastly, we're going to focus our attention and appreciation onto all that you appreciate about your spiritual practice. Breathe it in and breathe it out. And one more, we're going to breathe in appreciation about plant medicine and all of our knowledge about plant medicine and how it can help us, bring us peace, bring us hope, inspiration, growth, and healing. Breathe it in. Breathe it out.
Denise, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
And just think of how simple that was.
Right, how simple. How do we feel right now?
I feel like a badass.
I feel like I feel good. I feel supported. I feel happy. I feel good. Right. So this is available to us any time of the day. Maybe you are standing in that line feeling frustrated. Put your hand on your heart. A simple act of putting your hand on your heart allows you to feel your own support, your own presence. It allows you to feel your heart, the warmth through your skin, and it just like centers you, grounds you in, and makes you more present, ever present. God, Spirit, here with me now. Help me to be with you.
That's it. God, Spirit, help me now. Help me to be with you. I love that.
You're with
I
me
love
now.
that. And
It's
here's
always
the thing too.
always
It is.
we're inviting it. It's not like, it's allowing, like, it's not like, all of a sudden.
Well, here's an energized living tool, Denise.
Us, right?
Wait, listen, let me just tell you. I'm gonna give an example of another energized living tool that will absolutely 100% help you to connect to that spirit. The wisdom of plant medicine. So if you're out there using cannabis, every time that you consume cannabis, you said, I'm just going to look at it and say, thank you so much. Thank you for bringing me that hope, inspiration, growth, and healing. Thank you for healing my physical body. Thank you for bringing me awareness to my mental, emotional state so I can heal that aspect of me. And thank you so much for allowing me to be in a space of health and wellness so I can bring the message of the green nurse at Holistic Caring to all of you.
Yeah.
So really, really grateful. And so we want you all to join us in the community. We've got Energized Living right in the Green Nurses at Holistic Caring community. It's a network. It's free. You're all welcome to join. Free introductory to cannabis course, free patient portal, free patient support group, free book club. And actually, book club is tonight. Yay. Elizabeth wrote a book, Cannabis for Health, Become a Coach. A lot of people will be like, oh, I don't know if I want to become a coach. I don't think I want to coach anyone. Well, guess what? You need to coach yourself. There's no one more important than you. And this is a great little tool. It gets into cannabis history, the endocannabinoid system. It covers those 6 areas of essential knowledge. And the book's for everyone. It's for patients, it's providers, it's for nurses. Highly recommend. And come into the community, because if you're in the community, you don't even need to own the book. We cover chapter by chapter and give details. So it's just a really great learning opportunity.
I love that book. I refer to that all the time. I love it. The way it's laid out is very easy to understand and read. And it's just, she did a beautiful job. She really did.
Yeah.
Really did a beautiful job on that.
And then I want to plug one other thing. I want to give love and gratitude and thanks. Oop, there's a weird thing up here. I don't know why that's there.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. I'm going to give love and gratitude and thanks. Elizabeth Mack, who's the CEO and founder of Holistic Caring, where all of the green nurses are housed at this moment in time, has created multiple different programs. They're self-paced programs on the endocannabinoid system, cannabinoid therapeutics. She pairs it with disease processes and different conditions. She also has a program for health professionals, for those that want to become, that looking to start their own business, cannabis coaches, nurses, health professionals, and for patients. So we're really patient-centric because all of the nurses that work with us in this space, all of us are medical cannabis patients. We've all been utilizing this medicine to bring us new levels of wellness, to help us to live our best lives. So starting on Thanksgiving Day for the entire week, all of the programs, these are patient programs, provider programs for everyone, are 50% off. And the code for that is thanks. So I want to give thanks to Elizabeth. Thank you so much for creating these programs. They are absolutely amazing. They are actually available for health professionals, nurses for continuing education credits. And right now we're in the process of getting global accreditation. So all of the programs will have the ability to be college credited. So it's really, really exciting.
That's exciting. And I love, there's so many people in the CBD space that are sharing CBD, with the company. And this is such a beautiful certification tool that gives them, they get the education and they get that little extra certification saying they know what they're talking about. They're just not, selling the CBD. So I love that aspect of it, for members.
For our members. And it's a free membership. You don't have to pay anything. There's no subscription. There's no hidden fees. And this is the part that's so good, because as nurses, we're so passionate about this. And we know that plant medicines are going to change the world. So with that being said, join us the rest of the week. We have a show tomorrow at 10:30, Wednesday 9, Thursday 9, Friday 9. We're going to start a little bit later. But all of the shows this week are going to be about cannabis, gratitude, and different topics in regards to what we might be experiencing this week as we go through the week and head into the holidays. So remember, everyone, we love you very much. And it really, truly is about living your best life and helping others do the same.
And may I just say one more thing I forgot to mention real quick, I know. If you want to start, getting into prayer and tapping into this practice, or just infusing it into your life, and maybe, learning how to, just like I said, bring that more presence into your life. I'm going to be during Advent, which is the weeks leading up to Christmas. It's the 4 Sundays before Christmas. On Saturday mornings at 8:30, I'm going to be leading an Advent prayer session. So we're going to do stretch and pray. I was highlighted in a Advent calendar, and we're going to go through some of that. So if you
my God, that's so exciting. So basically, I put your website up there, denisecostello.com, right? So you go to Denise. Denise has her own personal website. She has got Energized Living. She does different types of things. She's also one of the nurses on the Green Nurse platform. So for this amazing experience that she's created, I put her website up, denisecostello.com. Denise, you're awesome. Thank you. Thank you for all you do. We love you all, and we will see you tomorrow morning. And here's another reminder of why we show up every day. This is really good stuff.
We're here to educate and empower patients to make choices that are best for them. We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. Hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I was cannabis agnostic for many, many years. And you know, the more research I did, the more I discovered that cannabis is this amazing medicine.
I was told that I had a 4-stage pancreatic cancer. The doctor really told me he couldn't do anything else. He gave me her name and she called me and she came to my house. She started to give me cannabis. My oncologist was puzzled because he couldn't find the cancer anymore.
All of the learning that we get comes from the Green Nurses group, comes from their support, comes from their guidance. I trust everything that she says.
Simply meet people where they're at. The plant doesn't, stress to grow, so we don't stress to share it. We're healing people.
Cannabis has been used as a medicine for tens upon thousands of years. Here's the big message. Cannabis needs to be federally legal. We need to have laws that are the same across all 50 states that allow access to anyone and everyone who wants to utilize this powerful medicine.